Welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Sridhar. Today I'll be discussing the recent sad incident in Madhya Pradesh in India where 11 children, young kids, lost their lives from renal failure resulting from use of a cough syrup contaminated with diethylene glycol as one of the components. Cough syrups, the usage is questionable. I've made many videos on over-treatment and how we can manage cough in children without using symptomatic treatment significantly. Most of the pediatricians have got used to a certain pattern of practice, so they're unwilling to change the approach, even though they know there is no evidence base and in fact it may be unsafe to use some of the cough medications. In this case, it's not only about using a combination medicine called Coldrix, which has phenylephrine, a decongestant, which is not supposed to be used in young kids due to cardiac effects, antihistamine and cough suppressant. So a combination of 3 medications in one, which most of the pediatric bodies don't recommend, and usage in kids below 2 years and especially the younger kids is still rife. So what are the reasons why this happens? One is the lack of quality control. There is a mushrooming of small pharmaceutical companies who want to make a quick buck, and they don't spend money on quality control. They cannot afford to spend money on quality control. The people whom they employ are also not adequately qualified, and they may take shortcuts in sourcing the raw materials. So for example, if a particular raw material which is supposed to be used is not available or it's more expensive, they may not have the knowledge enough to understand that the other raw material which they're sourcing, even if it has the same name, may have toxic ingredients, like in this case ethylene glycol. So we had cough syrup related deaths in African countries as well as Uzbekistan. Most of them were shipped from India as well. So even though India is progressing in many fields, the aspect of quality control is often missing. The government does have checks in place, but it's not possible to check every batch. And there is corruption which is rife, so they can easily bribe the officials who come to check, or they can substitute a sample which is being tested because they know in advance that a check is going to take place. They have people planted in the bureaucracy who can share the secrets with them of regarding when the raid would happen and so on. So first issue is regulation of the pharmaceutical industry, only allowing the manufacturers who have the ability to do adequate quality checks, ensure their employed personnel are adequately trained, at least the decision-making staff, and quality control down the road. The government should have more stringent checks when, for example, transferring from one state to the other. There should be an independent check in each state. So this is one part of it. The second part comes to the prescriber. In this case, a doctor was arrested, and obviously it's shocking to many of us practitioners who believe that if there is a contamination in the medicine, it's not the doctor who is responsible. So a couple of issues. In this case, he was in the government service and he was doing private practice. I'm not sure if it was allowed in his sector or not. Also, the cases whom he treated, he prescribed the medicines on a repeated basis without checking the follow-up. If any child came with symptoms that don't correlate, the index of suspicion should go up. Could it be a common factor in the medicine? So he didn't stop prescribing when he got alerted with the initial cases. So we still don't know what will happen to him and whether they will find anything that will implicate him. But in terms of the doctor, the group in the country, it's a shock. And obviously this will discourage people from using non-branded or semi-branded medication from not reputed pharmaceutical companies, and so that might push the movement away from these companies. Many of them give doctors bribes or gifts, which is again illegal, and the NMC has taken note of that, taking strict action as well. So those things will come down as well. In terms of managing cough, education from the beginning and changing parent expectations, link my video on over-treatment here, so go through that as well and share your thoughts. So the physician body has to make a decision that we will only do what is appropriate for the child. Little more time spent in educating, or you, if you are too busy in your practice, employ an educator who can share the information needed to discourage them from asking such medications, or even pressure for use of antibiotics, use of steroids to get a quick response. All this should come down, and the government has a role in closely monitoring this as well. So to summarize, obviously this is a very sad incident and there is no guarantee this won't happen again. So as physicians, we should be responsible in how we prescribe. minimize your use of medications to as little as possible. Be clear to the parents that if a symptomatic treatment is being prescribed, they understand it's not a course, it's only for symptom relief. Recently I discussed the use of paracetamol. Again, limit its use to where it is needed. Similar to that, use medications for symptom relief only when absolutely needed in a very small dose, and where you can stop it quickly once a symptom relief happens. Tolerance of symptoms from the family has to come up as well, and we need to educate them on the risks of using medication. Tighter regulation of pharmaceutical industry, not to be pressured by the medical representatives who try to push their products or insist that we should prescribe it a few per day or so. So don't give in to pressure from the pharmaceutical industry, either just on friendly basis or based on corruption or other issues. We should be ethical in our practice, and we should be proud to say that we are ethical in our practice. So don't hesitate to tell on the face of the representative that you are not going to use it. And this kind of approach will prove that you are a role model for your junior colleagues, who will again learn from you and avoid such practice. So this kind of pressure-based practice will go away. So I hope this helps. Do share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you.